Buenos dias.
It's good to be back from Spain. Allison and I had a great time. Thank you again for the opportunity to be able to go and be in that wonderful place with some wonderful people. I ate grilled octopus and goat cheese gelato, and I liked it, somewhat to my shock and amazement. But we had a great time. This has been a big weekend for us. We came back from Spain. One of the big reasons we came back when we did is because my wife graduated from seminary on Friday, so... Very proud of her, and we're very blessed to have both sets of families in today. Allison's parents from Austin, Texas, and my parents in from the Dallas area for Mother's Day weekend. We wanted to be with you on this special weekend to worship together as a family. But there's another reason that I'm here this morning. God has blessed our church in a lot of wonderful ways. God has expanded our mission and ministry over these past few years, and we've had this dream kind of rattling around about what God might do if we were able to put a little bit more resources. We've already seen some of the fruit of those resources being brought to bear. We're having the best year as a church that we've had in several years in terms of new folks joining our church because of the time and energy that Jim and Jeannie have been able to put into connection. We have been very blessed by the ministry of Stephen Thomason, who is our minister of traditional worship. If he could take that motley crew up there and make them sound good, and y'all sounded great this morning, guys. Didn't they sound great? All kidding aside, God has blessed our church by our ability as a congregation to be able to dedicate resources and to make the way we worship in this room in this hour at 11 o'clock, and not just in this room this hour, but dedicating those resources to worshiping in that way. Well, in addition to that dream, we've had this dream that God was going to bring somebody into our midst to do the same thing for us in contemporary worship and also young adults. So it is my great pleasure to introduce to you this morning John Kimbrough and his wife Muriel. I'm going to ask them to come join me up here at the front. We were in a very long search process and trying to pray and discern who God was going to lead into our church, and I'm very excited to introduce John to you this morning. John, until recently, was the contemporary worship leader at Central Baptist Church in Bearden, Tennessee. It's a suburb of Knoxville. That's a sister CBF church. John's incredibly talented, has wonderful organizational skills, wonderful musical skills, has a musical background. He and Stephen have some things in common that way. They're music rats. I mean, they both just love it very much so. John plays multiple instruments. And while John is coming to work on contemporary worship and young adults, he's not just a minister for that aspect of our church. He's a minister of the entire church. We have 2 different worship services on Sunday morning at 8:50 and 11 o'clock, but we are one church. And so we wanted you to have the opportunity to get to know John and his wife, Muriel. John, like most ministers, married way above his head. And so as soon as you meet Muriel, you'll understand why that's true. She's wonderful as well. So we wanted to give you the opportunity to get to know them, to celebrate this new day in the life of our church. I'd like to invite you, after our service is through, to come and introduce yourselves and shake their hands and hug their necks and give them a First Baptist welcome. This has been a day about family. And as we talked about our church to John and Muriel, what we said to them, if you could use one word to describe First Baptist Church, that's probably the best word that you can use. First Baptist is a family. And we want them to know the whole family. So come, introduce yourselves, and welcome them to be a part of the First Baptist family.